You ever wonder why it feels like no matter what you do, she always has the upper hand? You compliment her, she smirks. You message her first, she takes hours to reply. You try to impress her and suddenly she's bored. Why? Because her ego is in the driver's seat. And you're just another passenger trying to get her attention. But here's the truth no one tells you. A woman's ego isn't some unbreakable fortress, it's fragile. And once you learn how it works, you'll never be under its control again. So listen carefully, because I am about to break this down in a way that lines flip your entire mindset. Part 1, the ego isn't her power, it's her shield. A woman's ego is not her power. It is her armor, her survival instinct in a world that constantly tells her she is surprised. Comments from guys trying to get a taste of her attention. From the moment she wakes up, her phone has notifications, likes, D-Miss. It's not her fault. This is her reality. Over time, she learns something dangerous. I don't need to try. They'll come to me, and guess what happens? Not based on who she actually is, but on the amount of male attention she receives, her value becomes inflated. So when you walk in, nervous, eager, full of compliments, she doesn't see you. She sees another vote for her inflated self-image. That's the trap most men fall into. They feed her ego thinking it'll bring them closer, but it does the opposite. Part 2, why most guys fail and don't even know IT. Here's what usually happens. You meet a girl you find attractive. You immediately start chasing, you text her often, you reply quickly. You compliment her hair, her smile, her vibe. You say things like, you're not like other girls, or you deserve the best. Harmless, right? Is it a deposit into her ego, not her heart? Wrong. Every compliment, every chase, every good morning text you send before she's even earned it. And here's the worst part, the moment she feels she's above you is the moment she loses all attraction for you. You didn't get rejected because you weren't good enough. You got rejected because you gave too much too early without making her invest anything. Part 3, destroying the ego starts with this mindset shift. Now let's flip the game. Instead of trying to impress her, you impress yourself. Instead of seeking her validation, you withhold yours. Instead of trying to win her attention, you make her earn yours. That's how you start to crack her ego, by showing her something rare, a man who doesn't need her. Don't argue with her, don't insult her. Don't try to outsmart her, a man who doesn't chase. A man who treats his attention like gold. Because it is. You want to destroy her ego? Just do this. Become the first man who doesn't flinch when she pulls back, because her ego lives off your reaction. When you stop reacting, stop chasing, stop praising her blindly, her ego starts. And that's when something incredible happens. She starts to question herself. Wait, why isn't he trying like the others? Why doesn't he care what I think? Why do I want his attention more now? This is the power most men never discover, not because it's hidden, but because it's uncomfortable. She makes a snarky comment like, because it requires you to let go of your need for approval. Part 4, silence is stronger than any comeback. Imagine this, you're on a date with her. You look like the kind of guy who has a lot of options. Most men panic. They laugh awkwardly, they rush to explain. They say, nah, not really, I'm just focused on one person. Mistake. You just confirmed her dominance in the conversation. Now let's rewind and do it the right way. She says, you look like you've got options. You pause. Look at her. Shrug, I don't really talk about that, and then nothing. You change the subject, calm, grounded, unbothered. That silence? It echoes louder than words. It tells her, you're not trying to impress her. You're not afraid to walk away. You don't need her approval. And that's what pulls her in. Part 5, the game of chicken. Who blinks first? Let me tell you something real. Every interaction you have with a woman is a subtle power game. Not in a toxic way, not in a manipulative way, but in a natural, unspoken way. And the most common game that gets played is called the game of chicken. Here's how it works. Two people are headed straight for each other. fast. Whoever swerves first loses. Now picture this in a conversation with a woman. You're confident, bold, teasing her a little. Suddenly, she says something sharp, something that's designed to throw you off. Wow, cocky, aren't you? Now, most guys would laugh nervously or backtrack. Haha, nah, I'm just kidding, congratulations, you just swerved. You blinked first, and what happens in that instant? You gave her power. She felt it, she knows she can tilt your frame, and from that point on, she controls the dynamic. Now let's flip it, same scenario. She says, cocky, aren't you? You smile, pause, lock eye contact. Then say, some women love that and move on. No apology, no backpedaling. No overthinking, you stayed in your frame, you didn't blink. That's what destroys the ego, because you're showing her something extremely rare, a man who isn't afraid of her opinion. Part 6, you can't destroy her ego if you still need her. Here's the brutal truth. Brother, you can't destroy her ego if you're still emotionally dependent on her approval. The guys who succeed with women don't win because they're taller, richer, or better looking. They win because they're free from needing her to like them. Free from caring what she thinks, free from the outcome. And when a man is free, he becomes powerful. Because now, he's the one who chooses. He chooses when to speak, who to pursue, and when to walk away. That freedom is what drives a woman crazy, because it triggers something deep in her psychology. Why isn't he validating me like the others? What does he know about himself that I don't? Why do I want to chase him now? Her ego begins to unravel because you've become unpredictable, untouchable, unbothered, and that breaks the illusion that she's always in control. Part 7, the 3 energy shifts that shatter her ego. Let us break it down into 3 practical shifts you can make, starting today, to start leveling the dynamic. 1. Talk less, say more, don't overshare, don't try to explain yourself. Let silence do the work, mystery is power. Women are used to guys spilling their whole life story in 5 minutes. When you speak slowly, calmly, and with purpose, she leans in. When you don't fill every silence, she starts wondering what you're thinking. That wondering, that curiosity, it kills ego. 2. Don't react, respond if she flirts with another guy in front of you, if she throws a test at you. If she jokes about something personal, most guys react. They get jealous, defensive, loud, emotional. Don't. That's what her ego feeds on. Instead, respond with presence, stay calm, make eye contact. Smile like you already know the game she's playing, because once she sees that you can be moved, she lines start reevaluating who is really in control. 3. Walk away without a flinch. This is the final, most powerful move. If she starts acting entitled, if she becomes disrespectful, if she thinks she's untouchable, walk, not with anger, not with drama, just get up. Say goodbye and leave. Do it once and you'll rewire how she sees you forever. Because the one thing her ego can't handle is being ignored by someone who knows their value. Remember this above all else. Your attention is sacred. It's not something you throw around to every pretty face. It's a currency. And like all currency, if you hand it out for free, it becomes worthless. The biggest mistake you can make is giving attention to women who haven't earned it. You destroy her ego not by insulting her, not by trying to outplay her, but by knowing your worth so deeply that she feels small when she tries to manipulate you, and it doesn't work. When you stop chasing, when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop needing her to like you, that's when you become dangerous. That's when her ego collapses, because it finally meets something stronger than attention, indifference. So here's your mission. Stop handing out your attention like it's candy. Start treating it like it's a sword. Only a few are worthy of it. Be the man who doesn't flinch. Be the man who speaks less and owns the room. Be the man whose silence makes her question everything. And when you do that, you don't just destroy her ego, you build yours. This was the Mind Heist video, and I'll see you in the next video.